Breathe. You're listening to Screen Break with Martin Kelner and Will Buckley.
Hello and welcome to a new podcast, and you'll be thinking to yourself, thank fuck for that. You've been waiting for a new podcast all this time.
The rest is a new podcast.
The rest is a new podcast, which I'm interested you mentioned that. The voice there, ladies and gentlemen, of the great man Will Buckley. You're listening to Will Buckley and Martin Kelner, two of the top three sport on TV writers back in the 1990s, maybe. We sort of argue about the order. The top. It's myself, Will Buckley, and Giles Smith.
Interestingly, we never argue about who's number one, which is neither of us.
Well, you may be right. You may be right. But it's interesting, your comment, Will, there on the rest is a new podcast, because I'm looking at this as an antidote to The Rest is Entertainment, which is the fine podcast that Richard Osman and Marina Hyde do, where from a sort of insider's point of view, they talk about the world of entertainment and media.
Right.
And this is the antidote, because this is the outsider's view.
Thank God for that. I thought this was going to be anti-entertainment, but in fact,
it's anti-insiders, really. So
Okay.
I'll tell you the first thing that just a line I read in the obituary of Terence Stamp.
Okay.
And Terence Stamp, in a way, when I read through the obit, it reminded me of yourself. For
a good-looking man. I have been compared to Paul Newman, but not Terence Stamp.
Well, no, it's the Chelsea connection. He lived in Chelsea. You're a Chelsea man.
Yeah.
And also the fact that his career burned very bright when he was quite young, and then took a...
I wondered what bit of Stamp's life, of all the things he could have come up with, best-looking man in London, Julie Christie, all those kind of things, You've come up. That's the lesson. Okay. But also, he made a comeback.
Sorry, he did make a comeback, and this could be yours.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
I doubt it, yeah. I was thinking more of the villain in Superman.
I think I've got the legs for it.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, so he was just 30 years old when his career sort of took a downward for no particular reason. He said, I couldn't believe it. This is him. This is a quote from him, which is quoted in his obituary. Because he'd been so fantastic in the 60s.
Yeah,
Paul
he was the man. He could have been the next
guy.
007. They wanted him.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was the man there when he was young, in his 20s. 30 years old, he said, I couldn't believe it. It was tough. The phone not ringing. What's that like, Will?
In my third decade of the phone not ringing. Look, can I just go back there, Martin? There are many things you could have said, right? Yeah, because in the 60s, why he got the James Bond job, I thought you were going to go for that, is because he knew how to wear a suit. Yes. And I think I carry a suit well.
Yeah.
But also, he went to an ashram, and on his way, he passed the Beatles crossing Abbey Road.
Yeah.
That was the last thing he saw in England.
No.
Came back.
No, wrong. It was the Beatles on the roof of, in Savile Row, on the roof there doing the Apple building.
Okay, close. Yeah, I was never... You well subbed. I think you were a better sub-editor than you were a writer. But
Could be. Yeah.
So what's it like that the phone doesn't ring? It does ring.
Well, yes. I mean, mine does occasionally.
But it tends to be Virgin telling me they're not going to be fixing the broadband.
Yeah.
Then various numbers that you don't want to pick up. Nottingham. Those creditors who move city very cannily.
Yes.
During the week. It's
fine.
Well,
you're a busy man in that you do run. You do run you founded a gambling site called. We're allowed to say gambling. A bingo site. We don't call it gambling, but because that's a word we don't use. But a bingo site called Match Bingo. And you founded that. There was an interesting piece I read about gambling, which surprised me because I thought it would be the opposite, and you may be able to shed some light on this. Some experiment was done with researchers at Harvard, as it usually is, saying that men primed for anger. So these are basically men who are a bit angry about something, and most are. But they made men primed for anger before making them play a gambling game, only to discover that the men did better at it when angry. And they always say, if you are going to gamble, you should do it with a clear head. You shouldn't do it when you're angry. But this research said that if you're primed for anger, it helps. I don't know what you find.
Was this sponsored by the gambling industry or not?
It's sponsored by
trying to get angry people to bet. It's possible. But back to Terence Stamp and the comparisons between us. Both, I think you were going to go on to say, the best-looking men of our generation.
No, I wasn't going to say
and
that.
Both Buddhist as well. Both Buddhist as well.
Oh, you're a Buddhist?
Yeah, it's Friday. I'm trying. I started on Friday.
Shut on Friday. Right, what are we on to now? Tuesday.
I took the weekend off. I can't be a Buddhist full time. It's going well.
How's the Buddhism going?
Well, it's too early to say, obviously.
Yes.
It'd be insane after 3 days.
Yeah, what do you have to do?
Calm, chill.
Yeah, that's good.
Stop trying to solve the world's problems. Life isn't a problem that can be solved.
No, you can say that again. So we were talking at the weekend about who might fill a theatre. I'm looking for a new gig, and theatre tours is something that's been suggested to me by a man in Bentham. I got John Batty, he sent me a message on Facebook asking if I wanted to do an evening with Martin Kelner at a golf club.
Round the block. A crazy golf club or a proper golf club?
It's proper golf club in Bentham. It looks very nice. He sent me a photograph of the course, the golf course. I don't play golf myself.
But have you got the right clothes? Would you be allowed in? Getting into golf clubs is quite hard.
Yeah,
have the right sweater.
I think
tailored shorts.
I used to work with Terry Wogan, and I've modelled my
I was waiting for that to come up.
Leisure wear on his. I've got a Pringles sweater, and I've got a pair of chinos, which to me would be absolutely ideal
Perfect. Correct footwear.
Loafers, no worries.
Any loafers.
I was thinking, how do you construct a sort of evening with? And then I suddenly opened the paper and saw that Sue, Matt and Phil are doing an evening with Sue, Matt and Phil in theatres.
Sue Perkins, Phil Taylor, Matt Perry, I don't know.
Matt Perry is too late for that, I think.
Yes, of course, sorry.
He's no longer with us.
Matt Hancock, wow. Phil the power, Sue Perkins providing the comedy. Well, I suppose Hancock's doing the comedy unintentionally.
Yeah.
Phil's
Sue,
just
Matt and Phil.
lobbing Sue Matt. Interesting.
Yeah, it isn't them, though.
It isn't them.
No, it's not. It's Sue Barker, Matt Dawson, and Phil.
Who's Matt Dawson?
He used to be the scrum half for the England rugby team. I do believe he's a World Cup winner. Is he not?
Pass me, Pa.
Anyway, Sue Barker.
Yeah, you always do that when you say Sue Barker. Is that some kind of... Sorry, Doctor. Yes, a cough like that. Just think of Sue Barker, Martin. Yes, fine.
Sue Barker.
Nothing wrong there. Nothing more to see there.
Matt Dawson and Phil Tufnell and Tuffers. I mean,
so that's Question of Sport, isn't it?
Yes. So the Question of Sport people, the three of them, are going around doing theatres, and I think including special guests, but they're going to sell that out to Middle England because
no, that's the wrong. I mean, if you're going to bring it back and make it live, I'll give you Barker, but you've got to have Emlyn Hughes. And haven't you got to have Billy Beaumont? They're still alive, aren't they?
Bill Beaumont's definitely still alive because I've seen him walking along the front at Blackpool. He lives near Blackpool.
Good spot. Did he recognise you as well?
It was on a video, actually.
It would have been hard. Crazy Horse is still alive, isn't he?
The sad news is that Emlyn Hughes, sadly, won't be able to make it. He's otherwise engaged in being dead. Died. The reason I'd not seen an obituary, it was a long time ago. Died 2004.
2004?
2004, 21 years ago. So he was quite young. He was born in 47. Died 2004.
I saw him in Cartmel races catching drinks in 2005.
Did you really? That's fantastic. This is...
That you've really quite alarmed me there, Martin, and I'm feeling quite old now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Cause of death. sadly had a brain tumour.
Oh, gosh.
It was only 57. That passed me by as well. 57 years old. Yeah. So we will now make this a tribute to the late Emlyn Hughes.
Apart from, I do remember writing an article in which we voted him the sports poisonality of the 20th century.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you are.
There you go.
As Chairman Mao said, you can sit by the river and watch the bodies of all your enemies.
I thought that was Bob Mills.
What's that, Bob Mills? Is it? And float by you.
No, he didn't have enemies. He's not a bitter man like you, Martin.
No.
He just see his comedy friends float by him on the river of success.
Have I got enemies? I don't think I've got enemies.
So they're bringing back Question of Sport. Will it work? I mean, what are you going to have?
Well, it will fill theatres, that's the point. I mean, we were talking the weekend about Joanna Lumley. She goes out on a world tour. A friend of yours interviews her, doesn't he? And
but she's a national treasure. The thing is...
She's an international treasure. That's what
I know
makes
what
the
you're
difference.
doing here, too, because you're going back to my Terence Stamp days. This is back to your whole thing that at 30 I suddenly... That was what you're saying with me and Stamp, yeah?
What I'm saying is...
When we did Quiz Bowl...
Whereas Question of Sport can fill theatres, Quiz Bowl is not going to fill theatres. It's not going to fill...
Do you know?
It wouldn't fill a telephone box. You know...
But I still think I've got one more good format in me. So do you think it's going to be fruitier, the theatre show of Question of Sport?
You'd hope so. I did go to the live show of Strictly Come Dancing.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Well,
why?
I'll tell you exactly why. I bought it as a gift for my wife who loves it and our daughter, not the one that I like, one of the other ones. So the two of them could go together, and then something cropped up for my daughter, so we had these 2 tickets and somebody had to accompany my wife, so I had to go out for the evening and we went to see it, and I really enjoyed it. They're really putting a bit of a show, but they had the advantage of being able to get up and do a bit of dancing. Do you know what I mean? It was like the 4 of them in a sort of panel show type format, or a panel show type setting. But from time to time they would get up and dance. But it was quite funny. It was bants. It was sort of Middle England bants. It was.
I preferred it in the 70s when it was the Marshall Amplification Trophy.
When it was the what?
The Marshall Amplification Trophy from Blackpool Tower. I think David Vine was the
David Vine used to do those things.
And it was England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Finland, I think.
I'm sure half those places weren't even countries in those
That's the
days.
odd thing, yeah. And it was the 1970s and it was sensational television.
I mentioned that we're the sort of antidote to the rest is entertainment, which is an insider's view of entertainment. We've wondered why Richard Osman suddenly became so...
I mean, it's mainly you.
Ubiquitous.
It's because you brought up the topic of conversation.
Yeah, well, it's just that I was thinking, who in entertainment do we... I mean, and in a very comic friendly way do we consider to have possibly done a deal with the devil, you know, like John Cassavetes in the film Rosemary's Baby. He's all of a sudden, you know, he's a struggling actor, then all of a sudden he's not a struggling actor. I was wondering if you know, because we've been on Fighting Talk with him, and he was very good and very affable guy, etc., etc. But all of a sudden, he wasn't just a guy who appeared on Fighting Talk, and he was a producer at Endemol who owe me some money, but that's not
that's not
what's that's not motivated this. I'm sure he wasn't personally involved in that.
He wasn't Richard from accounts, was he?
No, he wasn't.
So I don't think you can really blame him.
No, I'm not blaming him for that. Absolutely not. So, but I got him on Fighting Talk. I've told you this story before. Yes, I did.
I've forgotten it.
Yes.
It's kind of
basically, myself and my colleague at BBC Radio Leeds, we were both doing a breakfast show, therefore free during the day, watching Pointless on TV. I think it was still just on BBC Two in those days. And we said, why don't we get that guy on, Richard, on? We phoned him up and we put him on the show. And afterwards, he said to me, I do like that Fighting Talk show on BBC 5 Live.
Did he?
Yes. And
well, he's short of things to say, I suppose. He's a nice guy. What else was he going to praise you for?
So I said, well, I have a word. And I phoned up the producer, and we got him on.
So without you, there would be no programme for us to compete against.
No.
What I like about Richard's success,
yes, what do you like about it?
Is he is a sort of a torch for second bananas and sidekicks everywhere.
That's a good point.
On a lot of the projects we've done together, you insist on me being the second banana.
Correct.
And I just humour the old man because who cares? So Richard was, if you'd have thought Alexander Armstrong was the man who would kick on from there because he was the host.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, who even thought or even suspected that these cosy crime novels would end up with Spielberg making a film? The front of the Radio Times has a series of one of these cosy crimes. He's on every programme on TV, and as you say, he was the sidekick, second banana, and then he's got his own thing. But the point is, as you rightly say, he's gone from second banana to first banana, and way on beyond that, he's on everything, and he's got a hit podcast.
So how many screens have you got in your house? Have you got Sky News on one and daytime quiz shows on the other?
I flip. Yeah, I do a lot of flipping.
You're a flipper.
But you've got... these are the people that do the daytime quiz shows. Susan Calman, are you familiar with her work?
Yes. I think she was a comedian, yeah?
Yes. I think she still would claim to still be a comedian. There's lots of people...
Do you stop being... Do people ever renounce comedy and say, I am no longer funny? It'd be quite a nice trick. Maybe that's what you should have done, Martin.
Yeah, well, Gabby Logan...
Maybe that's what you are doing.
I renounced it a long time ago. It's a bit like your Buddhism, sort of. Gabby Logan, she does one.
I thought she did Match of the Day.
Well, she is doing that as well, but people there at the Beeb, people they're promoting, they like to put them on a daytime quiz show that makes no sense. That all these years, you've been dreaming formats up. You dreamed up Match Bingo, etc. And other things over this, and Quiz Bowl, yeah. Did you dream that up, Quiz Bowl?
Yes, with a mate, of course. Yeah. What else? It's the glory days of Channel 4 where they put anything on. They didn't do pilots. They said, let's put it on air and see how it goes.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Not a good TV got made.
Yes, a friend of mine, when in the very early days of Channel 4, when, as you say, their anchor programme was Richard Whiteley on Countdown, but they were putting all sorts of other stuff on.
You're still watching Countdown?
No, I don't watch it, I'm afraid. It's
just BBC One game shows to get you through the afternoon.
It's a wrong time for me. But it's
you're not awake at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
No, it's 2 o'clock, I think. It's a wee bit earlier. I'm sorry we're sort of talking about media and things when the important subject is Buddhism. Let's talk about Buddhism. How much have you read about this, or is this just a fad?
I've read around it.
Well, what have you read, and how's it going to change your behaviour?
It's early days, Martin.
I know it's early days, but I want to know what you do. All I know about...
I'm not proselytising.
You won't
for
kill a
Buddhism.
fly, will you? You won't swallow...
I'm not proselytising for Buddhism.
No, I don't want you to proselytise. I just want to know...
As you are for the devil's work.
Yeah, I want to know what's prompted this.
I was just talking about similarities between Terence Stamp and me.
So you're not really a Buddhist?
I don't know. It's a work in progress.
You're not a Buddhist. It's a sort of... This is very much a sort of... I suppose in the old days you used to have a midlife crisis in the sort of mid-40s. You've moved it on now, so and because people are living longer and all that stuff... apart from Emlyn Hughes, sadly, who didn't, but generally people are living longer. Because of that, you've moved your midlife crisis now. So with internet dating,
I was a late developer, but I was an early developer for midlife crises, surprisingly. Anyhow,
when did you have your midlife crisis?
First one, late 20s.
My goodness me. Quiz Bowl was still going then, wasn't it?
No, only one series. No.
Yeah,
It didn't presage the first midlife crisis, or maybe it did. I haven't looked back.
No.
And reflected on.
So the midlife crisis,
midlife.
and what were the symptoms of this? Did you leave your wife, or did you have an affair, or what?
No, none of it.
Did you buy a sports car?
I can't drive. I mean, so it would have been a really stupid move.
Yeah, you used to be able to drive. You used to have a car. It was like a...
Well, but I bought it from...
The inside of your car was like a council waste tip.
It had all my possessions in. You always need to make an exit in case you need to.
It was unbelievable. No, it wasn't your possessions. It was old copies of the Correspondent. There was all sorts of stuff.
It was my clippings. It was my library. I was a mobile library.
But there were Snickers bars in there, and they were still called Marathon. There was Opal fruits in there. There was all sorts of stuff.
That was actually quite canny, Martin. Yeah. All I had was enough supplies to get me through a breakdown, not of a personal nervous breakdown, but a car breakdown. And because I bought my cars first of all from a stock car dealer on the edge of Dis, they tended to break down quite early. And often.
You picked me up from Norwich Station, I seem to remember, in this car.
Norwich Station? Did I?
Yes, I think you did.
Was it when the brakes working on?
There's somebody at my front door. I'll just go and have a look. Hang on. Hang on, this
Porlock has come knocking. It wasn't a fan at the door or the devil coming knocking to say, Martin, here are the final terms, take it or leave it, yeah?
No,
what show would you accept to renounce the Lord and become the devil's spawn? On what deals would you do the Rosemary's Baby deal? On what terms?
This is very interesting.
What do you want? What would make you happy in your 80s? They're quite close now, yeah?
Sorry, no.
Okay, late 70s. Let's make it...
I see, I hadn't planned to live this long. That's the problem.
That's one of the big conundrums of being a freelance, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's making enough money to keep you alive while you're alive.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to live into your 80s or 90s, you're going to have to make a lot more than if you were going to die in 6 months' time. Yeah. So you do have to do that little balancing up, don't you?
Yes. I mean, I'd sort of worked it out. My father died when he was 72. I'd made a plan which sort of took me to about 73, 74, I thought. And now here I still am, which is...
So, what show? It's going to have to be by Christmas, yeah? I can see the urgency that you need to get this... What show could the devil tempt you with?
Do you know what? I think if I made a deal with the devil, I would say my deal would be to die peacefully in my bed.
On air?
On air, it'd be fun. I've died before on air. This wouldn't be the first time.
I was teeing you up for that, Martin.
That's
why I'm the second banana. There you go.
Indeed.
Still doing it.
Yes. My deal would be that before the money runs out, I just die peacefully without being ill. I don't want to be ill. I've been ill in the past. I don't want to be ill. So what I would like is, as the old joke goes, like the guy whose nan was 83 and she just sat in her seat. She sat in her seat and gently died. Obviously, the dentist was giving. dentist was shitting it. But
so you want to die gently in your sleep and suddenly, yeah?
Yeah.
But once again, Martin, you're thinking of yourself, not your fans. What about your books? When will I be famous? That will survive you.
No, it fucking won't. It was pulped within a year.
It will start off being a rare. You'd be surprised the work I'll do. That's what second bananas do after the first banana goes. The comeback might start after you're dead.
It could be. Sometimes people do. People do have a sort of afterlife. Not Emlyn Hughes, though. You did. I'm shocked that. He was such a figure on the question of sport and at Rotherham United. And what was the other team he played for? Liverpool. He was.
Did he play for Liverpool? Can't remember.
Yes, he did play for Liverpool.
But he was one of the first footballers to make up their own nickname, I think.
Crazy Horse?
Crazy Horse. I'm crazy. Emlyn, I'm crazy. Arm round Princess Anne, having a little feel.
A tiny little bird has just landed on the stoop just behind
another
me.
fan.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's these sort of visions you get just before you die, Martin. I'd be very sad if you died this afternoon in your sleep watching Countdown on one screen and Sky News on the other. What a way to go.
What a way to go, indeed. It's very much like an Adam Faith. Was it Adam Faith who died saying Channel 5 is shit? Or somebody died, somebody's famous last words were Channel 5 is shit. I'm pretty sure it was Adam Faith.
Was it apropos nothing? What programme was he watching? You've got to contextualise it, Martin, to get full value from
Let's
that
see.
You'll die saying Sky News is shit, BBC Afternoon. You have a long ream of all the screens.
I wouldn't say Sky News is shit, simply because I have a sort of connection there. Yeah, famous last words, Channel 5. His final utterances, here we go. It's from The Guardian, this.
So it must be true. You probably wrote it in Screenbreak. You just made it up.
Blimey, do you know this? This is one of my articles. This is more than 22 years old. I'm still doing the same shit. It's a fair bet that the late Adam Faith never dreamed that he might one day be a contender for inclusion in the dictionary of famous last words. But his final utterance, Channel 5 is all shit, isn't it? Christ, the crap they put on there is one to remember. So there you are. I didn't write this. This was a leader column. Do you know the Guardian used to do a third leader, didn't they? Which was the funny one. Yeah. And they did a thing about famous last words. Pitt the Younger. Do you know Pitt the Younger's famous last words? I mean, they're not. They've been made up.
He's not Bagger Bogner, is it?
No, it's I think that I could eat one of Bellamy's meat pies.
Yes. That was advertising by Mr. Bellamy, who was ahead of the game.
Yeah. He was. Is he still around? We can get him to sponsor this podcast. That's what we're looking for, a sponsor. I mean, I'm not trying to be famous at this time. I'm not like Richard Osman. I'm not doing a deal to be famous.
Wasn't there a famous naturalist called Bellamy?
Oh yeah, he had that.
Was there a time when he toppled Richard Attenborough to be Nation's Darling's nature man? Person even.
Well, he was at the time.
He was bigger than Attenborough, do you think?
Yeah, but Attenborough's only become, like myself, he's very late.
So what kind of deal has he done? You could do an Attenborough deal.
Attenborough's done the deal with the devil. It's not. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologise to Richard Osman. The deal with the devil has been done by Richard Attenborough. David Attenborough. Richard Attenborough died. Richard Attenborough
did his deal a long time before, and he got the part in Brighton Rock, and was also a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, he was on the board at Chelsea, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah. Terence Stamp, Richard Attenborough,
was
Will Buckley. What a trio.
What a trio. He was also the founder of Capital Radio.
Was he?
Yeah, so he's responsible for Chris Tarrant.
And Richard or David?
Richard Attenborough.
Because David commissioned Pot Black.
But I get the Attenboroughs. They're like my family, like the Kelners. They're a dynastic media family.
Apart from they're both successful.
Yeah, it's very good. I need you to bring me down to earth. It's excellent.
But if you became Richard Attenborough,
yes,
isn't that the devil at his finest? Yeah?
No, David Attenborough, you mean?
Oh, David, if it's catching your
you see,
whatever.
I get them mixed up with the Dimblebys because there's another dynastic.
It is indeed. But if hang on a minute, because what he's doing, the devil, is he does a pact, and I think we could call Richard Osman a national treasure as well. The deal is you will become a national treasure. So the devil has spawned other national treasures, who are probably the nearest thing we have to deities in this godless age.
Yes.
Think about that. That's quite profound, actually.
It is. I'm glad you said that because then I won't edit it out of the final
the
final cut of this, which is going to be something of a nightmare to edit, I have to say. But it is a new podcast, and it's what the world's been waiting for. The naturalist Bellamy, who, as you correctly said, before David Attenborough had done his deal with the devil, Bellamy was the best-known naturalist. Yes, he was. Far more famous than Bellamy's meat pies. Interestingly, all the what made him famous was all the guys in those days that did impersonations used to do David Bellamy. There's probably in some sort of working men's club somewhere somebody who's still going around doing Ooh Betty and David Bellamy and all that.
Can you do a David Bellamy?
No, I can't remember. I just remember everybody used to impersonate him. It was a speech impediment, which of course these days you couldn't impersonate. I know Andy Jacobs, who's a friend of mine on Talk Sport, does a very good impersonation of Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson's got a speech impediment, and they made him stop doing it because it was wrong. Can you see that as being wrong? It's rather like, you can't come on and do a comedy Chinese. You can't, Mr. Cow! I used to have someone who did that on my show. You can't do that.
How long ago was your show? Was that 40, 50 years ago that you had this show?
That was about 40 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And he used to do a comedy Chinaman. It was very, very... You can't even say Chinaman anymore. It was very popular. It was extremely popular.
So... How are we going to turn... What is the vehicle, Martin, that turns it into a national treasure before you sadly die in your sleep watching Countdown on one screen and Sky News on the other? And having said Channel 5 is shite.
I don't know.
There you go. That's how it's all going to end. You've seen the future. Anyhow, you better have a little siesta or miesta before you settle down for your afternoon TV.
I don't like this picture of me that you've painted, to be honest.
It's a self-portrait of Martin Kelner. Maybe like a portrait of Martin Kelner. Growing younger. You looked very young when I last saw you, Martin.
Yes, bless you.
I always thought you were in your 60s. That's because you told everyone you were in the 60s.
No, I'll tell you what, when I was in my 40s, I used to pretend to be in my 30s and could get away with it because I have always looked quite young. I've got my hair and teeth and just things. So I've always looked quite young. So when I was in my 40s, which was a long time ago, radio was a thing for young people. It wasn't what it is now.
And on that note, I got to get on with my life.
Yeah, you get on with your life. I'll get on with my life. From me, Martin Kelner, and from...
me, Will Buckley.
Yeah, that's it for now.
That's all, folks.
Enjoy.
Let's hope Martin's here next week.
Yes.
Bye.
You've been listening to Screen Break with Martin Kelner and Will Buckley. Leave Martin and Will a review or rating, and please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can use the hashtag ScreenBreak to talk about the show on socials, and for exclusive content, head to martinkelner.substack.com.